This is a little different from a normal video. Not quite a market watch, but more of an observation. Um, I have seen at least a lot of people saying, every One Piece card is a PSA 10 or 95%. And I definitely have said that as well. Um, but something I'm learning, at least with set cards, and this is not really new, but I guess it is a new card, and maybe you could tell from the thumbnail. Um, but this is actually a much lower gem rate than any other One Piece card, at least from a set card that I've seen from the beginning of the game, OP01 to now. Whether it's a promo or a set card, actually. I would say this qualifies as one of the lowest gem rates in all of the One Piece card game. Um, and let's see what it is. So it is the M alternate art, the leader from OP13. And as you can see right here on screen, that's a 53% gem rate, which is much lower. And now compared to something like Pokemon, even some mid-era, well, not mid-era, because a lot of mid-era is 20% or lower on gem rate, even lower than that, actually, a lot of times. But like One Piece, Bandai card game, very typically grades super easy through PSA at least. You're more than likely going to get a PSA 10. And that's still true when you have 53% gem rate. But that is 35% lower than the average One Piece set card, especially a alternate art leader. Although I think with this example, it is a fully glossy card and the texture is on the borders, but it's an all black card. That could be pretty prone to scratching or fingerprints or some kind of blemish that is really visible on a all black trading card. Um, and I think that could be definitely a supporting reason for the low gem rate or lower gem rate relative to the rest of the One Piece card game. Because you could look at examples from this set, from OP13, and every other alternate art leader has a 85% plus gem rate. And these are new. These are new cards. It's only November that OP13 had released. So there's not really a lot in the population report. And there will definitely be more as time goes on. But early on, and I could say in 2 months from release, we could call it early on, this is actually looking like it might be a much lower gem rate than the rest of, in my opinion, just the rest of the One Piece card game in its entirety. And I did take a couple of examples, and this is actually an auction that ended tonight. This is being recorded on the 2nd, February 2nd. I think maybe because the label is incorrect, and this is actually a 13 cert, which, well, I guess they're all 13 certs here up on screen, but this could be one of the first ones that got graded, and PSA hadn't fully figured out what they're going to put on the label. Maybe they didn't even realize that this was an alternate art, or when somebody scanned it in, it wasn't picked up or set as alternate art, and they just kind of left it as blank up here. I think that probably is not really relevant to the price point here, but it could be. It also could be that it's actually setting in that this is a harder One Piece card to grade when you compare it to the rest of the game. Here are a couple of sales from a few days ago. These are buy it now. They're $270 plus 70 or plus 7 shipping, then $350 plus $5 shipping. These likely sold right around the same time. They both sold on the same day. But here we are a couple of days later, and here's an auction almost at 500. And if you go look, I think there is one still auctioning. It has a day left. It may be finished by the time you're seeing this, but at the time of recording, there is only one English copy in a PSA 10 up at auction right now. Um, but yeah, I think this is interesting. I find it interesting. Um, I think it is maybe the start of a trend. Who knows? This could be an anomaly completely, and we won't see anything like this again. But I think this could stick as one of the lowest gem rates in all of the One Piece card game. And I did look at almost every alternate art leader that has a similar styling, the way it's using manga art, and it is by far the lowest gem rate of everything. You go back to OP01, I think the lowest gem rate it might be the Odin, and that's at an 86% gem rate, and that was the lowest one from OP01. And then I think you go up to OP02, and I don't think there's anything under the 85%. So we'll see where this goes, and actually maybe I'll make a follow-up at some point in the future just to sort of check back in on what that gem rate might look like, and if it goes up or down. And maybe this will be a good way to get some feelers on the market, at least for one specific card. And if you're watching this and you know that there are other cards that are lower gem rate, please comment and let me know, because I'll take a look, and maybe I'll make a showcase video on that. But what do you think? Do you think that this will change? Will it go up or down? And let's give it a timeline. Let's say we'll check back in 1 month from now, because that is enough time. I bet you there are a lot of them at PSA right now. I know I'm actually getting mine back from PSA. And I don't plan on selling it at the moment. I did get a sequential set. I pulled the Emu, and I pulled a Bonnie. Actually, I pulled two Bonnies. Neither here nor there. But I ended up picking up Luffy, Ace, Roger, Sabo. Oh, no, I pulled the Sabo too. So I pulled the Sabo, Emu, and then two Bonnies. So I got kind of boned on those. But yeah, short video, and we'll see what happens in the future. One more thing. I am going to tease, I did this at the end of the last video, but that was a 30-minute video. So I don't think many people actually did hear what it is that I announced or teased. I will be doing a live stream, and I think I'll do market analysis on some facet of the One Piece card game, and I'm not quite sure which direction I want to go with it, but I do want to have a live stream, and I will put a date on it, and I'll say February 7th, Saturday. Not sure time frame yet, but it will be at night. So after 8 p.m., we'll see. If you want to be in the loop on that, I suggest you subscribe and put the notifications on. Oh, kitty cat is meowing in the other room. You may have found something. And I'll do... Oh, here he comes. Hi, Zoro. We'll do card of the day. Card of the day. Boa Hancock. The Box Topper alternate art from OP02. Okay. Well, I guess I'll say something else on the Boa. I believe it was only one of two you get randomly. It was either the boa or squard, or maybe it was three. You had three options. I think it was boa, squard, and Corazon. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please, because I'm just going off memory. But that is a part of my next PSA submission. And if you go look at the first video I ever did, if you so choose, you can see that that exact boa was in the background. So, fun fact. Fun fact. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching.